So you just unlocked Bahamut and you're wondering how to use it. In this video, we'll be going over all the iconic abilities, how to best utilize them, and fun combos you can do. So with that out the way, let's get into this, yeah? The main reason you should use Bahamut is for its iconic feat, Wings of Light. Unlike other iconic feats, when using it, you'll go into a different form. In this form, you cannot attack or use iconic abilities. Now, while I know this may sound terrible, you do charge up the Mega Flare gauge on the left. By default, level 2 is the cap, and when you upgrade it, it'll go to level 4. Here's something the game doesn't tell you. If you stand still, you actually charge the gauge twice as fast than if you were to move around. Now 20 seconds may look bad as we'll be doing no damage waiting for this, so you could speed up the process by precise dodging an enemy's attack. Doing so will give you a whole level. Once fully charged, press the iconic feat button again to unleash your Mega Flare. It'll then shower down autonomous damage for a good 20 seconds. Keep in mind if you do take damage that you will be knocked out of this form and the gauge will gradually deplete. If you swap icons, you will also deplete your gauge, so you can't just build up a level 4 and keep it in your back pocket. I know it sucks because that's what I was thinking of doing too. Here are some tips I wish someone told me when I first acquired Bahamut. When using Bahamut, you want to analyze your enemy's attack and look for attacks that have a long animation, like this ninja right here. I got 3 levels off by abusing his Katan's attack window, and there are a bunch of other enemies and bosses with a similar attack, so keep your eyes peeled. My next tip is to get an enemy low on the will gauge, but don't break them. Instead, you want to build up your Mega Flare, then break them. This will increase your damage by helping you reach the 150% damage multiplier quicker. And remember that this is free damage as it doesn't take an iconic ability slot. Speaking of iconic abilities, our first one is Impulse. By default, it'll send out 2 orbs, and once upgraded, you could send out 4 orbs to do autonomous damage to your foes. This skill is great as it'll do free damage and it does great will damage. Before we move on, I want to show you something cool because I know when I first used it, I was like, that's it? Keep a close eye on how much damage we do as I speed it up a little for the sake of time. And now we'll do it again, but let me know if you notice the difference. Did you see that? We more than doubled our damage because we detonated the orbs. I didn't know this was a mechanic until the very end of my first playthrough, so hopefully you get more mileage than I did. In order to detonate, simply press the same input you used to send out the orbs. Next up is Flare Breath. When I first saw this, I got super excited because for those of you who play Final Fantasy XIV, you know the horrors of this tank buster. Well, in this game, it's a bit lackluster to say the least. It is a stream of damage, kinda like a flamethrower. It could group up small enemies so you can easily incinerate them. This is where the issue lies, however, as small enemies aren't your main concern. It's the formidable foes and bosses. This skill doesn't push them around, and instead they'll be pushing you around as you're an easy target to hit. You can cancel this skill into a dodge, but then it goes on cooldown and you have to wait for it to come back up. Why waste an iconic ability slot on something that does mediocre damage and it's hard to get the full value unless they're staggered? And even then, you have so many better options at this point in the game. I highly recommend never using this ability. Good thing Satellite is here to redeem Bahamut. It'll summon an orb that'll follow Clive. Every time you press your magic button, it'll shoot out 5 bullets. These do mediocre damage, but good will damage. When upgraded, it'll summon 2 orbs and now you'll fire off 10 bullets. This skill is absolutely amazing if you use magic bursts as they'll complement that playstyle. Remember when I said you can't use skills during Wings of Light? Well, you can activate this and then go into Wings of Light to maintain some DPS. This is an easy add to any magic lover out there. Lastly, we'll go over Giga Flare. Unlike other ultimates, it doesn't pause time, but instead it'll slow it down. You'll then fire off a big Kamehameha at your opponent and anyone caught in the blast will take damage. This ability is really good as it does massive damage, and I was able to hit over 100k when I acquired Bahamut. Now that we covered all our iconic abilities, let's go over some fun combos you can use with your new toys. One of my favorites is dropping a lightning rod and then Giga Flaring right through it. It'll do a huge amount of AoE damage and it'll clear out any trash and a significant dent in any boss. Another fun combo is Impulse, Wicked Wheel, and Upheaval. You'll want to start off with Impulse, then Phoenix Shift over to the enemy. Do a 4-piece combo into a Wicked Wheel and then drop down with Upheaval. And then go back into Impulse and detonate the orbs. Hopefully this video helped you understand how to use Bahamut efficiently, and if you enjoyed this video, consider checking out the last one, which covers my spoiler-free ability tier list, and perhaps subscribing to see more, as I plan on making a ton of videos for Final Fantasy XVI, and I play a wide array of RPG games, and I break them down just like this. Until the next video, I'll see ya.